Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. Hopefully you've all had a wonderful week and a good start of the week. Actually, we're just getting right into it. We've had a couple of good setups and some nice moves. Let's talk about them. Real quick, we can see that U.S. markets are just not doing too much. We still have a little bit before the close, but been pretty flat once again. Still waiting for that post-summer break as far as the U.S. markets go, and even waiting for it a little bit in the currencies. It looked like we kind of had the break, and we still might, but it's not totally confirmed yet. We'll talk about that. Oil prices up a little bit. You can see some of the tropical storms coming into the Southwest are really kind of getting everyone panicked about some of the refineries and so on down there. Gold is down just a hair, but it's hanging in there pretty well. Overall, markets are just kind of flat. We had a couple of news announcements today. We had some house price details, and we saw that home prices are up just a little bit, and consumer confidence is down a bit. This is tomorrow morning, Wednesday. We have the preliminary GDP for the U.S. That'll be a bit of a mover. Pending home sales for the U.S. That can be a little bit of a mover as well. And then we have some New Zealand and some Australian news coming up a little bit later on in the evening after that. So let's get right into it. Let's get into this euro dollar first of all and see a little bit of what we've got going on here. The euro dollar really kind of hopped around here. For the UK session last night, we were looking at some breakouts of this trend line and daily pivot point. You can see that it did run up pretty well there. Now the question we have here is, it looks like this euro dollar might just be double topping just a little bit, but there still is a lot of upside potential to it, a lot of upward force. We got a nice little bounce off of this 200-day moving average. So far it's looking pretty bullish, at least for the short term. So again, what we're wondering here is if we're going to get a big double top, or just if this is going to be merely a speed bump, this 38.2% fib, which is right around the 125.90 area where we had that high of last week. So we're looking to see what the market's going to do here. We do have a little bit of kind of a short-term reversal in the works, and it looks like we might get a little bit of downside out of this, but we're still kind of bouncing between these two areas. So again, a break above this 125.90 area, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of buy orders pending somewhere around that 12600. So I'm keeping my eye on that, but for the moment we'll see if I think we will probably get a little bit of reversal out of this this current resistance here, and we'll probably get a chance to get long again on the euro dollar somewhere in this general area of about 125.10, 12500 to about 125.10, right in that general area is what I'll be looking for. But I think we're going to get a little bit of a dip off of this one, little bit of a dip. So that's going to be one thing to look for, but again, we don't have any very fantastic entries on this one yet. I'm going to have some screenshots coming later on today on Twitter, but so far it's just kind of in no man's land, and there's nothing too terribly interesting to do except for look for that short-term reversal on the euro dollar off of that resistance. Now, pound dollar is looking a little bit more interesting. The pound dollar, as you guys saw the Twitter messages and so on today, it was all about the 15800 area. Excuse me, and we did get a nice little break of that. Nice open above that, little quick rally, ran up about a little chunk of pips, about 30 pips. Excuse me, and it's been basically just consolidating and slightly pulling back from here. Now the question that we're wondering is, what is significant about any of this setup? Well, if you saw the daily video yesterday, you know that we were looking for a break of 15800 to go down, and we did see that, and it ran all the way down to 157.50. Now that's important because 157.50 was the area that was tested on the daily chart several times. It was tested in the month of June, July, and then finally in August it broke, but it was unable to open above that 157.50 for a good couple of months. And now, as soon as we got that open above there, we saw a nice rally up into 15900. No questions asked, just ran straight up there. Well, then we got a nice reversal at 15900 right at the 61% fib, and it's run all the way back down and given us a nice little reversal pattern here at 157.50. So we have a good little reason to believe that this run down and this bounce right here should continue up and give us possibly a double top at the 15900 area once again. So that's kind of what we're looking for, but very nice little run down there, and we're looking for equally a nice run back up into that general area. And I like entries on this pound dollar somewhere somewhere right in the 15800 area to get long, right about 15800. You can see that we do have some kind of short-term trend lines forming and so on. We'll keep our eye on that, but I think we've got some good support. We've got a good daily pivot and so on right there around 15800, 15810, which should be a good area to get long on the pound dollar. Euro yen is kind of an interesting little setup here. It's getting very choppy. We're getting lots of channeling, sideways movement. You can see that obviously I think this area is going to be pretty interesting / important. This is 98.82. 98.82, and you can see that the euro yen has tested this several times this week, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that this is the high of Friday. Remember, our Friday highs and Friday lows are always important. So here's our Friday high. Here's the high of the last couple of days. Here's the high of today. It's all tested that area very, very uniformly, and looks like it might be ready for a break. And that's what I'm going to be watching for. As far as sell opportunities go, I'll be looking for some of those if we get some, probably another test of this, another test / fail of 98.80. But so far, if we look at it on the slightly larger time frames, we can see here that the euro yen just has that very nice little appearance of coiling before breaking, and it looks like we're going to have a nice little break of this 98.80. So I'm going to be watching for this and ready for some of that activity. You can see here that that it's really just, in the grand scheme of things, it's consolidating just above the 23% fib if we go from the highs to the lows of the entire year. So really looking and waiting for an opportunity to buy above that 98.80. Waiting for that one. As far as the rest of these pairs go, the Aussie's got some interesting things going. Gold's just kind of channeling as well. The last several days have been very sideways on gold, and everything else is not looking as interesting as probably the euro dollar and a possible reversal down for 20 or 30 pips, and picking up some pound dollar on the dip. Picking up some pound dollar on the dip. I think that's going to be a good little run, and then looking for a break of 98.80 on the euro yen. Got a couple of setups there. We should be able to grab some pips out of those guys, and they're coming up shortly. So best of luck, everyone, and I will update on Twitter and have a few more details about those setups coming shortly. Thanks, everyone.